Imagine walking into a classroom or a busy street and realizing that distant objects are blurred while everything close to you is perfectly clear. This is the reality for millions of people living with myopia, also called nearsightedness. CI for healthcare professionals, especially nurses and medical students. Understanding the critical integrated map, or CIM of myopia, is key to providing complete, effective care. CIM allows us to connect every aspect of the disease, from patient education to pathophysiology, management, and follow-up in a way that is practical, exam-ready, and clinically relevant. Home care teaching is the first and most important step in the CIM. Patients need to understand the proper use of prescribed corrective devices, such as glasses and contact lenses. Consistency is critical because intermittent use does not correct the blurred vision effectively. Nurses should also emphasize reducing prolonged near work, taking regular visual breaks, using proper lighting while reading, and spending adequate time outdoors. Teaching patients about these lifestyle modifications not only helps with current vision clarity, but can also slow the progression of myopia, particularly in children and adolescents. A useful mnemonic to remember key home care instructions is CLEAR, corrective devices, lighting, eye breaks, activity outdoors, and regular checkups. From the nursing perspective, the most relevant diagnosis is impaired visual sensory perception related to refractive error. The classic signs are blurred distance vision, squinting, eye strain, and headaches. Understanding this diagnosis helps nurses plan interventions, monitor patients' vision, and provide patient-centered education. Definition comes next. Myopia is a refractive error in which light entering the eye focuses in front of the retina rather than directly on it. This explains why distant objects appear blurry, while near vision remains normal. Keeping this one concept in mind is essential for connecting all other parts of the CIM. Demographically, myopia commonly affects children, adolescents, and young adults, especially those with a family history or intensive near work. History taking is crucial. Nurses should ask about difficulty seeing distant objects, academic challenges in children, squinting, headaches, and eye strain. Environmental factors such as prolonged screen time, reading under poor lighting, and limited outdoor activity should also be explored. These details help classify the severity of myopia and identify patients at risk of rapid progression. The pathophysiology of myopia ties the entire CIM together. Light rays entering the eye are bent by the cornea and lens to focus on the retina. In myopia, either the eyeball is elongated, axial myopia, or the cornea lens is too curved, refractive myopia, causing light rays to converge in front of the retina. This early convergence prevents sharp images from reaching the retina, and the brain interprets distant objects as blurred. Near objects remain clear because their light rays focus closer to the retina. Accommodation by the ciliary muscles cannot correct this error, leading to eye strain and headaches. Remember the mnemonic long or strong, long for axial elongation and strong for excessive refractive power. Medical management focuses on correcting vision. Concave lenses in glasses or contact lenses diverge incoming light, moving the focal point onto the retina. Regular monitoring is essential to adjust prescriptions as myopia progresses. Surgical management includes procedures like LASIK, or PRK, which reshape the cornea to permanently reduce its refractive power. Nurses must understand these options to provide patient education, answer questions, and support preoperative and postoperative care. Nursing management is broad and includes monitoring visual acuity, reinforcing the importance of adherence to corrective devices, teaching proper lens care, and promoting lifestyle modifications such as limiting screen time and encouraging outdoor activity. Pharmacological management is limited, but artificial tears can relieve dryness, and low-dose atropine may be used in children under specialist supervision to slow myopia progression. Non-pharmacological strategies, including ergonomic adjustments, regular visual breaks, and controlled near work, are equally important. Special situations include high myopia, which increases the risk of retinal detachment, macular degeneration, and glaucoma. Pseudomyopia is another condition where excessive accommodation causes temporary blurred distance vision that improves with rest. Awareness of these variations is critical in clinical assessment and patient counseling. Nurses should always assess for these risks and educate patients about warning signs such as sudden flashes of light or new visual disturbances. Etiology is multifactorial, combining genetic predisposition, axial elongation, excessive corneal curvature, and environmental factors like intensive near work and limited outdoor activity. Clinical manifestations include blurred distance vision, squinting, headaches, eye strain, and poor academic performance in children. Labs and radiology are primarily used to assess the eye OS structure and confirm diagnosis. Visual acuity testing, refraction assessment, corneal topography, and fundoscopy to detect complications in high myopia. In summary, the critical integrated map of myopia connects home care, nursing diagnosis, definition, demographics, history, pathophysiology, management, and special considerations in a comprehensive framework. By understanding this integrated approach, nurses and medical students can provide effective care, educate patients clearly, and prevent complications. The key takeaway is simple. In myopia, light focuses in front of the retina. Keeping this image in mind makes all other aspects of the disease, from symptoms to interventions, logical and memorable. Following the CIM ensures both academic success and clinical excellence in managing this common yet significant eye disorder.